And then I thought, look, I've got to get a grip here and do something useful for Diana. And I decided the first thing that needed to be done was to find somebody to write and deliver the eulogy.
Prince William is in a private room at St. James's Palace, his forehead pressed against a cold window, completely breaking down in tears. And the reason why is way more complicated than just one bad night. It all starts with his uncle, Earl Spencer, showing up at a private royal reception uninvited, walking straight past security, and publicly confronting Queen Camilla over a piece of jewelry that belonged to Princess Diana. That single image set off a royal family fracture. Earl Spencer's uninvited entry shatters the palace's private calm. Now! Earl Spencer arrives unexpectedly at the private rear entrance of St. James's Palace at exactly 8:45 in the evening. The crisp autumn air surrounds him as a dark sedan glides silently across the cobblestones, creating a dramatic scene reminiscent of a cinematic thriller. He does not possess an official security clearance pass for this highly secure event. His name is absent from the master guest list meticulously managed by the Lord Chamberlain's office. However, being a historic peer with deep, centuries-old ties to the royal estate affords him certain privileges. He can pass through the outer perimeter checkpoints without triggering the immediate lockdown alarms. This is especially true when armed guards and security personnel recognize who he is through the tinted glass, and likely prefer not to be the individual in British history who attempts to physically restrain Princess Diana's biological brother from entering a royal building. So, he is allowed in. Inside the Grand Hall, the reception is precisely what one would expect from high-level palace diplomacy. King Charles stands near a massive, crackling grand fireplace, engaging in quiet conversation with a European ambassador about international relations. Meanwhile, Queen Camilla smoothly circulates among a crowd of foreign dignitaries and wealthy art patrons. This event is intended as a cultural preservation initiative, strictly non-political, an evening where the inner circle can relax away from the flash of paparazzi cameras and relentless public scrutiny. Suddenly, the heavy double doors swing open, and Earl Spencer walks in. The carefully constructed diplomatic atmosphere dissolves instantly in the expansive hall. What differentiates this situation from typical royal family tensions is that Earl Spencer disregards all royal protocol. He does not wait in an antechamber for a formal introduction from a staff member. He does not stand quietly in a velvet-roped greeting line waiting for his turn. Instead, he strides purposefully across the room, completely ignoring the stunned courtiers who instinctively back away, and stops exactly 3 feet from Queen Camilla. The entire grand room falls silent, and the sound of crystal champagne glasses clinking comes to an abrupt halt. Each diplomat, ambassador, and aide realizes simultaneously that they are witnessing an open, highly charged family confrontation, with no one in the room knowing how to respond. The relationship between the main branch of the royal family and the Spencer line has been a volatile minefield since the tragic summer of 1997. Both sides had previously agreed to maintain a cordial, distant public facade for the sake of Prince William and Prince Harry. However, Earl Spencer's aggressive entrance reveals, in real time, that the emotional wounds surrounding his sister's complicated legacy remain unhealed. The diamond and sapphire brooch that ignited a royal family. Civil war. The catalyst for this unprecedented confrontation is where the situation becomes incredibly interesting. Earl Spencer is not known for rash or uncalculated outbursts. His previous actions against the royal family have always been carefully measured for maximum legal, historical, and media impact. So, when he stands perfectly still before Camilla, raises a single gloved hand and points directly at her left lapel, he is not merely creating an emotional scene. He is executing a highly calculated, legally backed move. In front of the silent room, he demands an immediate public explanation for why a specific, highly sentimental piece of private family history is being displayed at a public state function without the express written consent of the Spencer estate trustees. The object in question is a unique and breathtaking diamond and sapphire brooch, which originally belonged to the Spencer family archives for generations before being gifted to Diana on her globally televised wedding day in 1981. This specific piece was a cornerstone of the late princess's personal collection, a tangible symbol of her maternal heritage that she purposefully wore to multiple high-profile international engagements when she sought to project her own independent strength. After her passing, the legal ownership of her personal effects was divided under a staggeringly complex network of private trusts and wills. This administrative maze created a vast legal gray area regarding which items belong permanently to the Crown collection and which pieces are strictly bound to her biological descendants. Thus, when Earl Spencer looks across the room and sees Camilla wearing this exact brooch, he does not just see a piece of beautiful jewelry. He perceives a direct violation of his sister's legacy and his family's historical property rights. Tension fills the room as King Charles moves to intervene between his wife and his former brother-in-law. His security team quickly surrounds them, trying to block the view of the other guests and keep anyone from filming the argument on their phones. Charles insists they should move to a private, soundproof office upstairs. However, Spencer stands his ground and loudly states that if the palace shows private family matters to the public, they should be ready to explain their actions to everyone present. This defiance creates a second mystery that could be even more damaging than the fight itself. The guest list for the reception was secured 3 weeks ago, with each invitation having a unique digital signature to prevent copying. For Earl Spencer to know the event's exact time, place, and dress code, he must have received inside information from someone in the palace's central office. The thought that a senior staff member is working with the Spencer family worries the king's chief of staff, revealing a serious weakness in the palace's security. This indicates that someone inside the palace wanted this confrontation to happen. Prince William collapses in tears alone, as childhood trauma resurfaces. As the concerned security team helps Earl Spencer to a quiet exit hallway, the emotional weight of the evening becomes clear. Prince William stands nearby, watching his mother's brother confront his stepmother while his father remains calm. The conflict between his hidden childhood pain and his royal responsibilities becomes too much for him. Without saying anything, William turns and quickly leaves through a side door that leads to the private apartments. This moment shifts from a public family argument to a more personal struggle. When the heavy door to the private anteroom closes, it shuts out the noise from the reception below. Prince William walks towards the window that overlooks the dark courtyard. His hands shake as he reaches for the cold window latch. Leaning his forehead against the glass, he stares into the empty night of London. The strong persona he has built over the years disappears suddenly. The Prince of Wales quietly begins to cry, alone in the dim light of the palace flat. This important image reveals the tough reality William has faced since the summer of 1997. To the public, he seems like a calm and stable royal leader who handles state duties well. However, he struggles with the impact of his parents' troubled marriage and the tragic loss of his mother. The intense confrontation between Princess Diana's brother and Queen Camilla over a piece of jewelry brings back painful memories from William's teenage years. Tension builds as the king's senior private secretary arrives outside the room with an important briefing folder. The official knocks softly, unsure whether to interrupt this private moment, but urgent matters downstairs need attention. King Charles has ordered an immediate lockdown of communication logs, but the staff is scared to act without knowing what the future king thinks. William does not answer the door. He stays hidden in the shadows, trying to regain his composure before facing the palace's staff. This withdrawal creates uncertainty at the center of the household's operations. Why does seeing his uncle confront Camilla upset him, instead of making him support her? The answer comes from a secret promise William made to Earl Spencer during a family gathering in the summer of 2024. He assured Diana's family that he would respect his father's reign, but would not allow Diana's sentimental items to be part of Camilla's public wardrobe. When William entered the reception and saw his stepmother wearing the unique wedding brooch, he felt shocked by his staff's oversight. He realized they had broken his promise to the Spencers, making the conflict unavoidable. A 72-hour legal ultimatum threatens the British royal family. The situation becomes more serious when Charles's personal assistant ignores security protocols and delivers a handwritten note from the king. The note, written quickly in the king's distinctive handwriting, demands William's immediate return to the drawing room to show a united family front before foreign dignitaries are dismissed. The king is very angry about the security breach and wants William to stand with Camilla to show the diplomats that the crown will not be intimidated by a disgruntled peer. William reads the brief note under the soft light of a desk lamp, and his expression becomes stern. His deep grief quickly shifts to protective anger. He refuses to return to the reception hall, telling the assistant to inform the king that he will not take part in a staged display of family unity. At the same time, his mother's memory is being used for palace public relations. This refusal is a significant challenge to his father's authority and creates a dangerous divide between the Prince of Wales's office and the King's office. Kensington Palace's communications team notices unusual encrypted activity from Earl Spencer's legal advisors. The Spencers are not retreating quietly. They are drafting a detailed statement to the press to explain the history of the disputed brooch if the palace tries to downplay the incident. Meanwhile, a heavy silence fills Clarence's house. At 2 a.m., King Charles walks back and forth, showing fatigue and frustration as he listens to his senior protection officer's briefing. The crisis shifts from a security issue to a major failure in the palace's clothing departments. The King's chief of staff investigates how the controversial diamond and sapphire brooch ended up on the Queen's lapel. Researchers find that the royal styling team used an outdated inventory database from 2005 and missed a confidential legal memo from 1996 that restricted the public display of certain wedding gifts linked to the Spencer family. This discovery does not ease the king's rising anger. The crisis escalates the next morning when a legal package from Spencer and Associates arrives at Buckingham Palace at 9 a.m. This document includes strict demands supported by constitutional law. Princess Diana's family gives a deadline of 72 hours for the removal of the diamond and sapphire wedding brooch from royal collections. Earl Spencer's lawyers include a bold clause referencing the Hereditary Artifacts Protection Act, which protects family treasures from becoming crown property during marital changes. If the palace ignores the deadline, the Spencers are ready to file a public petition in the High Court, which would force an embarrassing judicial review of the crown's jewelry policies in front of the media. William defies King Charles to protect Princess Charlotte's birthright. The immediate concern for the royal advisors is how Prince William will respond to the legal challenge against his father's household. As the future king and a major beneficiary of his mother's trust, William is in a powerful position that could influence the dispute's outcome. If he backs his father's lawyers, the palace could engage the Spencer family in long, costly legal battles. However, if William stays neutral, the crown's defense would struggle due to a lack of unity in the family. William decides his course of action during a private meeting with his legal advisors at Kensington Palace. He makes it clear that he will not use any of his own money to fight against his mother's family in court. Instead, he instructs his lawyers to create a document stating that he supports separating the disputed Spencer artifacts from the crown's collection. This move disrupts the palace's defense plan, leaving King Charles with no option but to act quickly to minimize damage before the 72-hour deadline. Reluctantly, King Charles signs an order to transfer custody of the brooch back to the Spencer estate trustees. To avoid a media frenzy, this transfer takes place quietly at night, using a secure armored vehicle to deliver the jewelry to a high-security bank in London. This decision changes the atmosphere within the House of Windsor. Queen Camilla withdraws several historic pieces from her jewelry collection to prevent any further public disputes. Meanwhile, William arranges a secret meeting with his uncle, Earl Spencer, to reach a private family agreement. In this meeting, they decide on the future of the diamond and sapphire wedding brooch. Instead of having it sit in a bank vault, the Spencer trustees agree to register the brooch as a future inheritance for Princess Charlotte. The agreement ensures that the brooch will bypass the crown collection and go directly to Princess Charlotte when she turns 18. This keeps the peace within Diana's family line. This smart move satisfies the Spencer family's wish to protect their legacy and prevents an expensive public court battle over the brooch. It will stay in a secure vault until Princess Charlotte's 18th birthday, symbolizing a promise between a nephew and his uncle, while also reminding everyone that some family issues are hard to resolve, no matter how much effort is put in. Please share your thoughts on how Prince William managed this situation and whether you think the Spencer family was right to confront the royal family publicly.